The mission of security forces is simple: protect, defend, and fight to enable Air Force, joint, and coalition missions. Everyday men and women from specialties that range from combat arms to investigations work together seamlessly to carry out this vital duty. The history of security forces began in 1947, but its heritage goes back to 1943. As a result of the reorganization of the War Department, General Henry H. Arnold established the office of the Air Provost Marshal, which was responsible for organizing and establishing the necessary units that would provide security for base aviation assets and installation law enforcement. On March 29, 1943, General Arnold called on Colonel H.G. Reynolds to become the first Air Provost Marshal, marking what Air Force security forces celebrate as their official birthday. 4 years later, President Harry Truman signed the National Security Act of 1947, authorizing the creation of the United States Air Force. All Army Air Corps officers were officially transferred, including all of the military police officers then serving under the Army Air Force's Air Provost Marshal's office, except they had a new designation: the Air Police. During the start of the Korean War, many American and South Korean forces found themselves ill-prepared to defend against a formidable communist enemy. Air bases in forward areas were overrun, proving the need for the Air Police to develop more extensive base defense capabilities by creating an avenue in which they would train their fellow Air Force members to protect their installations.
My name is Staff Sergeant Jason Darnell Ham. I'm a combat arms instructor here for Yokota Air Force Base. And the reason I have a job is because of the Korean War. During the Korean War, the Kempo Air Base at that time, it was overran by enemy forces. And the reason it was overran is because the only people who had adequate amount of training to actually engage those enemy forces with firearms was the security police. And once the security police were taken out, it left the rest of the base very vulnerable. General Lee May was the reason why the combat arms program was even purposed. It was his desire that something like that happened at Kempo Air Base would not take place again.
For the next 30 years, the Air Police continued to refine and improve their base defense techniques learned throughout the Vietnam conflict. And when new threats were introduced in the early 1980s, the Air Police transformed again into the Security Police.
Sir, you on target? Yes, sir. Fire! Fire!
In January 1985, Secretary of the Air Force Vern Orr lifted the ban on women in the security field. 1 month later, the first female security police troops entered the United States Air Force, where they now serve at all levels of the Security Forces organization. In October 1997, another reorganization combined the law enforcement, security, and CADM AFSCs into one, transforming the security police into the career field we now know as security forces.